This time on Low Boost, we're installing a new oil pan on our 1966 Ford Mustang. If you're new to the channel, we're swapping a 302 engine into a 1966 Ford Mustang, and when we tried to do this the last time, we ran into a few snags. This engine is actually out of a 1970 Ford Bronco, so the oil pan did not fit, and we tried for a while to see if we can get it to work, and you just have to make sure that when you put one of these in, you have the proper oil pan. This oil pan was hitting the steering rack and the cross member, so we had to pull it out and we have to replace the oil pan. We also had to replace the timing cover on this as well, so I have a separate video on that if you're interested in checking that out. But here we go on replacing the oil pan on our 1966 Ford Mustang 302. The oil pan actually mates to the bottom of this, and that's what creates the seal on these old Ford motors. I didn't think up until they came out with the modulars, they did it too. So what I'm going to do is I have this on a little more than finger tight and not torqued down. So when I put the oil pan on and then this gets bolted up perfectly, then I will torque all these 4 bolts, which should pull that all together, and then have it, then torque this down to spec, and that should create the best seal possible here. I'm also going to use some extra RTV. I got a 1-piece gasket too. Hopefully that helps. Do that next, and see where we go from there. All right, so I got a 1-piece Velcro gasket, and it's really the best way to go. All 1 piece, like I said, these are the seals that are gonna go right up onto the engine. Flipped over, obviously, I think it's this way. So what this also comes with, these snap-ups, and these actually go in the 4 corners of the engine block there, and it holds the gasket in place. And then once you put the oil pan on and the rest of the bolts, you can take these off and put the final bolts in the oil pan. This holds the oil pan gasket in place easily, and then you actually pop the oil pan on over it, and then once the oil pan is bolted down correctly, then you can unscrew them. So this gasket is freaking awesome. I did use some gasket sealer right where the timing cover meets the block in both the front and the back. As you can see, as we pop the oil pan up and on over those tabs, it holds it in place, and then it'll actually stay there until we actually screw the rest of the bolts in, and then I can slowly remove those tabs and put the rest of the thing together. What I did first was start to put some of the other bolts on, and then it made it easier to get the tabs out and then to insert the bolts that actually go where the tabs are supposed to be, and then just kind of work my way around the whole oil pan. I didn't actually, torque it down until later. As you can see, all that's on now. I haven't torqued everything down completely yet. I want to get all this lined up, so we're going to put the water pump on because that also gets torqued down. 15 foot-pounds for all this, 20 foot-pounds for these down here. So I'm going to do the same thing that I did at the front of the timing cover as well. I'm going to put this gasket sealer on. We're going to put it also on the water pump as well, and then that should seal this up pretty darn good. I did a better job on this than my dad's truck. Speaking of which, if you guys are into that kind of stuff, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We upload a video every week about cars, not just this Mustang, but I'm doing a full restoration with my dad on his 1953 Ford pickup, F100 pickup truck. So if you're into that kind of stuff, consider subscribing. That is getting a 351 Windsor. So oil pan is on. Next is the Harmonic Balancer, which we just got to verify our Harmonic Balancer matches the counterweight of our flex plate in the back, because you don't want to have any vibrations. So we'll put that on. Start assembling the rest of the front end here, and then it's ready. We could drop it right in the car right now. We're gonna do some more stuff in the front end, and then we'll drop it in. Stay tuned for the next video, because I'm gonna do a separate video on how to properly install a harmonic balancer. We have all our hoses and lines, everything on the engine getting ready to go in. So we're gonna be putting it in the Mustang pretty soon with the transmission bolted up to it. So I'm gonna be doing a bunch of other videos on installing the engine properly with the AOD transmission, the brackets and all that stuff, and then putting our Holley Sniper EFI system on it. So if you're into that kind of stuff, please follow along. Again, thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.